Okay, so we've got my Rumpelstiltskin hat on. It doesn't say R, but this was the one he picked out. He said this is the one for me. And he's going to come back. And our host, Christopher Isherwood's come back. And I promised you I was going to tell you a story. Okay, well, the last video I made was called Anshaw TV. And I do recommend you listen to that one because it's how I'm going to continue from that one. And we're going to talk about Rumpelstiltskin and personal people. Okay, it's Bob Frizzell for the reality game. And I just want to tell you that Rumpelstiltskin is, when he first came to us, he was a fifth dimensional dark elf. And he also was an imp, which is a different kind of being. And he also emulated a human being, a 65-year-old man, a very small man, about 5'3", 110 pounds, with a very good right hook. He liked to wear cowboy boots, and he loved to drink whiskey sours. Rumpelstiltskin is capable of taking on a number of different things, and he told me he was 2,700 years old. He knows all about leprechauns and elves and fairies, and he knows all about human beings. So, without further ado, we're going to give you this episode, which is called Personal People Pollute. Okay, this hat belongs to one of our characters, Vasily Fisk, who is also British. And Vasily is not available today, hasn't been around for quite a while, but we think he'll be back. He is a metaphysical detective, and he and his partner, Andrew Chernenko, do investigations for people, and they don't use Sherlock Holmes, elementary, my dear Watson, using whatever Sherlock Holmes uses. They use metaphysical theory to solve their mysteries. Why did we bring Vasily Fisk around? Because everything can be solved by metaphysics. And Andrew Chernenko is the Sherlock Holmes of it all. Vasily Fisk is the front man who does all the interviews and legwork. This hat we call the Deer Hunter, and the Deer Hunter is a crack shot with a, perhaps you give him any gun whatsoever, but I think he likes long rifles. Everyone knows this lady, Mrs. Marge Simpson, and she's going to come and talk to us. And this hat we're going to call the man who is very, very prudish. This is a man who's so prudish that if you're having a dinner party at his house and you have to do, a poop, you have to go way upstairs. You can't use the main floor bathroom because he's very prudish. And he doesn't want anyone to know that people even do number two. This is the prudish hat for the prudish man. Okay, you'll remember Bob Frizzell for the reality game. And, okay, so we need to know what is a personal person. Rumpelstiltskin says, a personal person is everybody on planet Earth. Because everybody on planet Earth wants to know about you. Why? It's just the nature of humans. They want to know all about you. They want to pry into your affairs. And once they know all about you, they're going to gossip about you. They're going to talk behind your back. They're going to backstab you. And then they're going to smile in your face and say, "Tell me what happened today." And once they got all that under their belt, then they're going to tell you, "This is what you should do." That's what they really love to do, tell you what to do. And they never go away, personal people. And they are the scourge of the universe. Personal people from planet Earth, because they're like monkeys. Monkey-minded humans. They think like monkeys, and they throw shitballs at one another like monkeys. And I'll tell you, every other realm hates humans because they're personal people. Because other types of beings don't pry into other people's affairs. They're not interested whatsoever, and they never gossip, and certainly would never dream of giving you an opinion on what you should do. It's only on planet Earth with humans that we have this problem of personal people. All right, it's Christopher again, and I just want to remind you that we were talking in our last video about Ansha TV, which is extraterrestrials who have got closed circuit TV on every human on this planet. They can tune in to whoever they want using their computer system, and they can zoom in and they can zoom right up into your nose to see if you got any nose hairs there. They watch you all the time. Ansha TV, and we learned this from internet commentator and person who deals with extraterrestrials quite frequently, Mr. Corey Good. Corey Good, if you haven't heard of him, you might have heard of him on Gaia TV. He did Cosmic Disclosure with internet personality David Wilcock. Okay, this is the deer hunter, and the reason that we use the deer hunter is certain humans are going to be so pissed off when they learn that there are extraterrestrials watching their every move. Some of them are going to put on their hunting camouflage, and they're going to go and going through all of their rifles. And in certain countries, they're allowed handguns. And in certain countries, there's no laws whatsoever. So you might end up with a bazooka or a hand grenade, or maybe a surplus army tank. And maybe some of these people know how to fly, and maybe they've got, what do you call that when, they've retired old military planes? You can still buy them. In some countries, you can basically do anything. And some of these people are going to get really pissed off. And they're going to wonder how the hell they're going to hunt these extraterrestrials down for being such rude, personal people. Now, it's true that Rumpelstiltskin said that only on planet Earth with humans are there personal people. But Corey Good told us about the Anshar, and they're not here on our planet. They say that they are us in the future. Rumpelstiltskin is not going to be able to tell you anything that he doesn't represent anything other than mostly the fairy realms. And maybe a few oddballs that live in other dimensions. But he says, as far as he is concerned, anyone that lives in our realm, where humans live, planet Earth, because fairy is a different realm. It's not part of our universe. It's a different place altogether. And he says, all of the people that are in your universe are just like you. But there are so many other realms where we don't have these issues with personal people. But in your universe, even on Star Trek, all these different kinds of extraterrestrials that Star Trek meets, from the Borg to the Klingons, Romulans, Gorn, Cardassians, Breen, Organians. There was another one I was trying to think of. Those greedy little ones that are all about money. The ones that have the Grand Nagus. Vulcans. There's plenty of other ones that are on the tip of my tongue. But he says all the people that are in your universe might as well all look human because they all think human. Vulcans think that they're superior to everybody else because they're logical. Klingons think that they're wonderful warriors. Humans think that they're great diplomats. And Casanovas, their best lovers. And the ones that are all about the Grand Nagus are all about making money. There's Tellarites. They've got little antennas. They're very strange. Goes on and on. Rumpelstiltskin says, but all of the people in your universe, they might as well be humans with different shaped bodies, but they all have the same minds. They're disgusting, personal people. This is a different person, and they say, what do you need to know about personal people and why do they pollute? Primarily, they pollute because of all the things we've said about them. They want to get involved with you, become your best friend, so later on they can be your best enemy and stab you in the back and gossip about everything you ever told them. Because that's what always happens among people of our universe. People pretend to be your friends, and you think that they are your friends, and it's not until later in life that you realize no one was ever your friend, and they all are going to turn on you. And that's why on the old X-Files TV show, the slogan was, trust no one. Now, this is the prude, and the prude is especially upset knowing all these things because the prude has got privacy issues. Primarily, they don't like to be seen naked, and they don't want people to know how much money they've got, and they don't want people to know anything about their health concerns. They don't basically want people to know about anything, because not only are they prudish, they have high anxiety about other people, what they think of me. That's probably the root of it all, is they want to have a really nice public performance, and they don't want people to know that behind the mask of their public personality, whatever they are, they don't want people to know. They have high anxiety. They just don't want people to know their business. And they especially don't want people to know about their sexual goings on. Anyways, that's Bob Frizzell, and I am going to tell you, I'm Bob Frizzell, and that was somebody else. I'm going to tell you, to finish it all off, personal people pollute, and that is all that Rumpelstiltskin ever says about kinds of people like us, and he's totally, I can't tell you, because secretly, he's the worst polluter of any personal person we ever met. So much so that he's decided, first he staged his death. He didn't die, he just had a funeral. And we did a video on this channel a long time ago, on our YouTube channel, The Death of Rumpelstiltskin. And then he hung around for a while, and then he decided to be a boy of about 8 years old. And then he decided to open up a tailory, and then he decided he didn't want to be Rumpelstiltskin anymore, and now he's I'm working on changing his name and his ego because he is sick to death of playing the part of a 2,700-year-old dark elf from the fifth dimension. I'm Bob Frizzell. Please subscribe and share.